should NRIs invest in India? Is that a profitable venture?
यार आज के टाइम में इंडिया में नहीं करोगे तो कहाँ करोगे?
What is the easiest way to get into properties?
Do not confuse trading with intraday trading. As an NRI, you have to take the delivery of share in your account.
What are certain documents that people need in case if they need a loan?
There is a classic technique which many of people use to sell their property. अगर उनको बेचनी है ना तो वो खरीदने जाते हैं.
If there is somebody who wants to invest, let's say $500 a month, what is the best way for them to invest that $500 into stock market in India? What's up, people? Welcome back to the NRI podcast. This specific podcast actually comes from my FOMO, my fear of missing out on India's growth story. Every time I look at India or look at the news, it's about how quickly India is growing. And if you don't invest in India, you are missing out on something. And that's exactly what I want to learn more about. How to invest in stocks, how to invest in property, whether it is possible for NRIs to invest in India and get the return like if you would get the return if you were in India. And that's why today we have a very special guest, CA Shubham Malu with us, who has years of experience helping people with a lot of questions that we are going to ask today. So thank you so much for joining today, and we are very excited for this podcast.
Thank you so much, Devarsh, for inviting me to your amazing initiative. And I'm very happy to be here with you today, discussing about all the aspects of NRIs.
Awesome. I don't think I'll be able to do justice if I introduce you. So I want you to tell us about all the amazing stuff that you have been working on and are working on.
So basically, if you see, I am a practicing chartered accountant in India, and I am doing consulting on taxation, along with that startups, wealth management, and all the compliances related to setting up a business in India, right?
Okay.
So with that, I am also consulting various NRIs on their different aspects of investing in India, along with their tax planning, how they can structure their transaction in India.
Right.
So from last 9 years, I am doing that, and I cleared my CA in 2016 from Ahmedabad, this city only. And then after that also, I've been here in Ahmedabad only from last 9 years. And this city has given me so much. And along with that also, when I see in my field, so I'm a chartered accountant, and when I see my fellow chartered accountants also here, I talk about content creation, so there are very, you can say low chartered accountants who are interested in creating content on Instagram or YouTube. But I started this journey 2 years back.
Okay.
By motivating, by seeing and motivating other people that many of the non-CAs are doing this stuff. They are creating content on the aspects which they are not aware about, and which we as a CA know like in depth. Right? So by seeing that, I started my journey 2 years back, and now it's going really good on Instagram and also on YouTube. So I'm quite active there, posting about when budget is coming, so how it will impact to Indians as well as NRIs. When there is any tax changes related to NRIs or maybe Indians, what business you can do in India if you want to start your own business. So those kind of content I'm focusing on. It's majorly into finance niche, and I'm posting, and I'm going good response. I'm getting good response there. So this is my brief background. I'm also working with many of the startups who are in India, like in Mumbai, and I'm also helping them in fundraising.
Right.
How they can raise their funds, how they can manage their compliances in India. So that's my brief background.
I love that, man. Thanks for doing that. Do you also help a lot of NRIs?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. So what are usual questions that you get from NRIs?
So many of the usual questions from NRIs which I get is, how can I buy a property in India? Look, many of the NRIs, they move out to earn money, right? And when they get a substantial amount, they also invest that money in India only, right? Many of the people, they want to retire in India, right? So they wanted to know that how I can invest in real estate, how I can invest in mutual funds, कैसे मैं शेयर मार्केट में अपना पैसा डाल दूँ. अभी इंडिया की ग्रोथ स्टोरी के बारे में इतना कुछ चल रहा है, एवरीवेयर मोदी जी इज गोइंग, एंड इंडिया का एक बहुत अच्छा पब्लिसिटी इंटरनेशनली हो चुका है, एंड दैट्स वाई पीपल आर गेनिंग कॉन्फिडेंस कि यार हमें इंडिया में कुछ तो करना है. And those kind of queries we are getting. Along with that, people are asking about tax implications, how we can save tax even if we are NRIs.
Okay.
Right. So those kind of queries we are getting, and we are regularly consulting with them. We are answering them that ye karo, wo karo, and all such sort of things.
Okay. So I want your personal opinion. what my FOMO is that I'm missing out on the growth story, and a lot of other people are facing as well. So, should NRIs invest in India right now?
एब्सोल्युटली देवर्ष. सो आज के टाइम में अगर आप इंडिया में इन्वेस्ट नहीं करोगे तो कहाँ करोगे, राइट? सो इसका आंसर मैं इस तरीके से देना चाहता हूँ कि आई हैव 3 पॉइंट्स
Okay.
जिसके बेसिस पे आप डिसीजन ले सकते हो कि इंडिया में आपको इन्वेस्ट करना है या नहीं करना है, राइट? नंबर 1 पॉइंट इज इंडिया की इकोनॉमी इज ग्रोइंग लाइक क्रेजी, राइट? इंडिया की इकोनॉमी इसलिए ग्रो कर रही है, रीजन बिंग हमारी जो वर्कफोर्स है, पीपल आर वर्किंग, 64% वर्कफोर्स इज यंगर.
Okay.
एंड दैट्स वाई दे आर वर्किंग, दे आर अर्निंग मनी. एंड ऑल्सो इफ यू सी, अभी जो बजट के अंदर चेंजेस आए हैं, राइट, टैक्सेशन से रिलेटेड चेंजेस हो गए, जहाँ पे कि गवर्नमेंट ने 12 लाख से कम सैलरी को टैक्स फ्री कर दिया, राइट? सो व्हेन इट इज़ गेटिंग टैक्स फ्री, तो वो जो पैसा है दैट इज कमिंग बैक इन टू इकोनॉमी, एंड दैट्स हाउ द इंडियाज इकोनॉमी इज बिकमिंग अ कंज्यूमर बेस्ड इकोनॉमी.
Right.
और कंज्यूमर बेस्ड इकोनॉमी में क्या होता है कि बिजनेसेस थ्राइव करते हैं, देयर आर लॉट ऑफ न्यू बिजनेसेस दैट कम इन, एंड इवेंचुअली गवर्नमेंट की रेवेन्यू बढ़ती है, टैक्स कलेक्शंस बढ़ते हैं, एंड इवेंचुअली जीडीपी की ग्रोथ होती है,
Right.
राइट? सो दैट्स स्टोरी इज देयर कि यार इंडिया की इकोनॉमी तो बढ़ने वाली है.
Right.
सेकेंड पॉइंट इज लास्ट 6 मंथ्स में अगर आप देखोगे तो शेयर मार्केट करेक्ट हुआ है, राइट? सो व्हेन शेयर मार्केट इज करेक्टिंग बट द ग्रोथ स्टोरी इज ऑलवेज देयर,
Yeah.
right? So share market is somehow gonna catch the story and it will again increase. So that's why this is the correct time you should enter into stock markets, maybe through mutual funds, maybe through direct equity that we'll discuss कि कैसे कैसे कर सकते हैं.
Yeah.
But you should invest because of the correction happened in stock market.
Okay.
Apart from that, if you see, there are multiple options, right? You can invest in mutual funds, you can directly invest in real estate also. In commercial real estate you're also getting a good rental yield.
Right.
अपार्ट फ्रॉम दैट, अगर आप सोच रहे हो कि यार मुझे कोई फिक्स्ड इन्वेस्टमेंट भी मिल जाता है, कि ऐसा कोई जगह हम इन्वेस्ट करते हैं जहाँ पे मुझे फिक्स रिटर्न मिले,
Okay.
तो एफडीज इज बेटर ऑप्शन. यू गेट गुड रिटर्न्स in India rather than any other country.
That is actually true, because I like so many countries, like let's say I'm from Australia, right?
Yeah.
So हमें बैंक में 2% मिलता है, 1.5% मिलता है. And growing up in India, we have always heard like 7, 8, 9% के around, right?
Yes,
like पहले
yes,
मिलते थे,
yes,
and
yes.
especially
Even right now also it's 7 to 8%.
हाँ, like अभी का I'm not exactly aware of, but जब ये 1.5-2% होता है, ये लगता है कि why would क्यों बैंक में रहे, उसके बाद बेटर ही है कि कहीं इन्वेस्ट करे.
Exactly.
And that's exactly what I don't know about, like whether इंडिया में इन्वेस्ट करना चाहिए नहीं करना चाहिए. So you very rightly put, right? So let's structure our conversation in a way कि पहले आप मुझे स्टॉक मार्केट का बताओ,
जी.
and my questions probably will be like very basic, so you'll be like भाई इसको तो कुछ भी नहीं पता, but I want to ask those questions. Then I want to get into properties as well, कि एक बार अच्छा हो जाए, if somebody is making really good money, then how do they, and then some of the downsides, right? कि यार क्या हो सकता है, your clients, your stories of those clients as well, if you can share. So let's start from stock market.
Okay.
Okay, अभी what I do in Australia is कि there are few apps. Okay, वो apps पे you can trade through those apps.
Yes.
And not necessarily I need to have any demat account or anything. उस पे जाके I can buy stocks and sell those stocks, or there are like वो क्या bundle of companies के होते हैं. If I want to put $100, then they distribute it amongst themselves, and then app पे दिखाता है what is your growth or not. It's really simple.
Okay.
Right? I don't know how it works in India.
Okay.
So how it works in India, and how does stock market work in India if somebody wants to invest, and how does it work for NRI people?
Okay, great question. So what happens is, if we talk about direct investment in stock market by an NRI, right? So that's a different route, and for a resident is a different thing, right?
Okay.
So first let's discuss, अगर इस कन्वर्सेशन को हम चालू करते हैं बेसिक समझने से कि एनआरआई कौन होता है.
हाँ.
राइट, कि एनआरआई है कौन. अगर मैं आज बात कर रहा हूँ देवर्ष यू आर सेइंग कि यार मैं ऑस्ट्रेलिया से हूँ, है ना, बट if you fall in that condition of income tax act, which section 6 of income tax act says, you can also be an NRI.
Okay.
अगर आप NRI हो गए, then there are different things for investment in India, right? तो मैं एक बार बेसिक आपको समझा देता हूँ कि NRI किसको कंसिडर किया जाता है. तो NRI वो होता है जिसने, there are 2 conditions. Number 1 is that if you are staying in India for more than 182 days, then you are resident Indian. You are not an NRI.
Okay.
Right, getting my point? So if you are staying in India and then you are claiming कि नहीं यार मैं तो बाहर जाके आ गया, I'm an NRI, तो वो नहीं होता है. You are a resident. So if you are resident, then every income you are earning in India, it will be taxable in India.
Okay.
उस पर टैक्स लगेगा इंडियन गवर्नमेंट का, राइट. सेकेंड कंडीशन इज कि आउट ऑफ लास्ट 4 years if you are staying 365 days outside India and in last year you are staying 60 days outside India, then you are NRI. You are not resident India.
ओके
सो दैट इज सेकंड कंडीशन. बट पता है यहाँ पे एक हैक है जो काफ़ी लोगों को पता नहीं है,
ओके
और वो ये है कि इफ़ योर इनकम इज हायर देन 15 लाख रुपीज, देन ये जो 60 डेज है दैट इज 120 डेज, नॉट 60 डेज.
ओके
पीपल आर नॉट अवेयर अबाउट दैट. दे डू नॉट कैलकुलेट कि यार मैं 60 दिन रुका या 120 डेज रुका, क्या मेरी इनकम 15 लाख से ऊपर है इंडिया में. तो यू हैव टू डिसाइड अकॉर्डिंग टू दैट, और फिर आप डिसाइड करते हो कि मैं NRI हो गया हूँ.
ओके
Now, once you become an NRI, then there are only 3 routes through which you can invest in India.
Okay.
One is NRE account,
Okay.
non-resident external account. Second is NRO account, that is non-resident ordinary account.
Okay.
And third is FCNR account, that is foreign currency non-resident account.
Okay.
डिफरेंस क्या है आप पूछोगे कि यार ये क्या चीज़ है, मतलब मैंने तो सेविंग और करंट सुना था.
एग्जैक्टली
What is NRE NR? तो बेसिकली गवर्नमेंट ऐसा बोलता है कि व्हेन यू बिकम NRI देन यू आर नॉट रेसिडेंट ऑफ इंडिया. तो आप जो अपना सेविंग अकाउंट है ना, सबसे पहले उसको ऑर्डिनरी NRO अकाउंट में कन्वर्ट कर दो.
ओके
Many of the people, even my clients, were not aware about this.
ट्रू
Then they come to us, we consult them कि ऐसा नहीं है. Holding a saving account is illegal in India if you are NRI.
ओके
You have to convert that into NRO account,
ओके
right? NRO account and NRE account में डिफरेंस ये होता है कि NRO is just like a saving account, जो आप अपनी इंडिया की इनकम जो है, लेट्स से यू हैव अ प्रॉपर्टी हियर, यू आर अर्निंग रेंटल ऑन इट, तो आप उस रेंटल इनकम को NRO अकाउंट के अंदर रिसीव कर सकते हो.
ओके
एंड दैट विल बी बिकम टैक्सेबल इन इंडिया एंड यू हैव टू फाइल योर इनकम टैक्सेस इन इंडिया. जो भी आपकी इंडियन इनकम है दैट यू हैव टू एक्यूमुलेट इन NRO अकाउंट.
गॉट इट
NRO अकाउंट से आप रिपार्टिएट भी कर सकते हो फंड्स, बट देयर इज अ लिमिट टू इट.
ओके
उसमें एक
रिपैट्रिएट मतलब वापस आप जिस देश में हो उधर ले सकते हो पैसे.
उधर आप भेज सकते हो, बट गवर्नमेंट ने उस पर लिमिट लगा दी है ताकि सारा फंड बाहर नहीं चला जाए.
हाँ
तो उसकी लिमिट है $1 million की. सो देयर इज अ $1 million स्कीम अंडर विच अ ईयर.
अच्छा ओके
ठीक है, तो आप उतना फंड बाहर ले जा सकते हो, उससे ज़्यादा आप नहीं ले जा सकते. व्हाट इज NRE अकाउंट? अब NRE अकाउंट इज सिमिलर टू योर अकाउंट विच यू आर होल्डिंग आउटसाइड इंडिया,
ओके
राइट? सो यू हैव टू ओपन एन NRE अकाउंट इन इंडिया. उस फंड को आप फ्रीली रिपाट्रिएट कर सकते हो. बेसिकली आपने अगर $10,000 उसमें डाले, यू विल कन्वर्ट इन इंडियन करेंसी. आप उसको कभी भी ले जाओ, कभी भी लेके आओ, कोई फर्क नहीं पड़ता है. देयर इज नो रिपोर्टिंग इन इंडिया कि उस पर आपको टैक्सेशन भरना है, राइट? द ओनली थिंग विच पीपल मिस हियर इज कि जो NRE अकाउंट के अंदर पैसा आया है, राइट, उसको अगर आपने NRO में लिया है तो अगेन देयर विल बी अ लिमिट ऑफ $1 million,
गॉट इट
राइट? तो आपको पहले ये समझना पड़ेगा NRO क्या है, NRE क्या है. थर्ड वेरिएंट इज FCNR अकाउंट. FCNR अकाउंट मतलब क्या है कि इट इज योर जो होम करेंसी है ना, आप अगर ऑस्ट्रेलिया में रहते हैं, दैट इज ऑस्ट्रेलियन डॉलर, तो उसी का अकाउंट आपका यहाँ पे खुलेगा. So basically, if you want to bring Australian dollar in Australian dollar, you do not want to convert it, then that is FCNR account. And then FCNR, you can deposit in FD and you can earn a interest return out of it.
So there you save money on conversion.
Exactly.
कि मैंने ऑस्ट्रेलियन डॉलर अगर INR में लिए, so obviously I have to pay the conversion fees, and then अगर मैं वापस ले रहा हूँ again I have to pay that.
Yes.
So to not do that, FCNR अकाउंट है कि मेरे ऑस्ट्रेलियन डॉलर ही है उधर,
हाँ.
और अगर उसका FD रखना है, if I want to get like 5, 6, 7,
Yeah,
whatever
absolutely.
percent return is there.
It's little bit lower.
अच्छा,
It's like
okay.
3 to 4%, but depends on repo rate and all that stuff.
Got it.
But effectively, you are holding your Australian dollar only. It's not converted in INR.
Got
So
it.
it's also hedging yourself against currency fluctuation risk.
That makes sense.
Now we come to investment. So when you come to investment in stock market, so you have to open a demat account, right? Now government has also introduced two types of variant in that. One is PIS and one is non-PIS.
Okay.
So what is PIS? PIS is basically portfolio investment scheme,
Okay.
right? So government has said that when you open a PIS or maybe you go to a bank and ask for a PIS, that means you can hold equity now.
Okay.
For holding the equity in India, you need to open a PIS account.
So that is different from demat account?
Yes, that is different. So it's a basic process. You go to bank, you ask them कि यार मेरे को PIS का सर्टिफिकेट दे दो अकाउंट में, क्योंकि मेरे को अब इक्विटी में इन्वेस्टमेंट करना है.
Okay.
तो बैंक क्या करेगा, RBI से वो सर्टिफिकेट आपको दिलवा देगा.
Okay.
नाउ व्हाट इज PIS? तो बेसिकली क्या होता है, RBI ट्रैक्स एवरी मूवमेंट ऑफ योर बाइंग एंड सेलिंग, राइट, फॉर देयर इंटरनल पर्पस ऑब्वियसली, बट दैट इज
Obviously, yeah.
policy. When you hold a non-PIS account, right, non-PIS you can take in NRO,
Okay.
like ordinary saving account. You can buy mutual funds from there, you can buy bonds from that.
Okay.
ठीक है, तो वो सब नॉन PIS के अंदर आप
बट उसमें ट्रेडिंग नहीं हो सकता फिर.
उसमें ट्रेडिंग नहीं हो सकता.
अगर आपको इफ आई वांट टू, जैसे आज के आज शेयर्स खरीदने हैं और मुझे फिर एक महीने बाद बेचना है, सो दैट इज नॉट म्यूचुअल फंड,
That is not mutual fund. That is equity
दैट इज
investment.
इक्विटी.
Yes.
तो उसके लिए फर्स्ट स्टेप 1 आई नीड डीमैट अकाउंट.
Demat account.
स्टेप 2 बैंक में से
PIS, you have to do
PIS
PIS,
I need to get, and after that I can trade.
You can trade, but do not confuse trading with intraday trading.
Okay.
As an NRI, you have to hold the investment. You have to take the delivery of share in your account always.
Got it. Okay.
That's the difference. If I am resident, I can trade,
हाँ.
right? But as an NRI, you have to take the delivery of shares
Got
in your
it.
account.
And
Demat
only
account.
after that. But
Only after.
delivery is pretty immediate, right?
Yeah,
It's-
yeah. So it's like normally now is T+2. They are reducing it to T+1 and all those kind of
Okay.
things are running.
Got it. Awesome. So, and what is the best way to invest? So, for example, the only thing I have heard, and this is because like I love Nikhil Kamat's podcast, is Zerodha.
Yeah.
Right? कि Zerodha पे if you have a demat account, आप connect करो और उस पे आप trade कर सकते हो. That's the only thing I've heard. So, what is there more to it, or you know, can you explain that?
So what Zerodha is effectively, it's a broker.
Okay.
Right? So it connects you and it helps you in buying equity. There are many brokers in India right now. Zerodha hai, Grow hai, Upstocks hai.
Okay.
Right? So these are some of the names, applications which you can download. Zerodha, why everybody prefers, quite simple. Like if you go to their website also, if you are NRI, how you want to open a demat account with Zerodha, they have clear instruction on their website.
Okay.
Right? You one by one you will do. You can open a demat account on your own. You have to do nothing.
Interesting.
So Zerodha is one of the app
Yeah.
that can be used for buying and selling shares. But there are many other apps which you can use for analyzing the shares. मुझे क्या खरीदना है, किस कंपनी में इन्वेस्ट करना है, कौन से सेक्टर में इन्वेस्ट करना है. So there are some app named as Screener.
Okay.
Yes. So you can add your shares there. You can analyze कि यार क्या चल रहा है कंपनी में, क्या चल रहा है, and all such kind of stuff.
Okay. Do you think trading is more good for NRIs or investing in mutual funds and then just forgetting it about it? Like, what is the best path? If somebody is there, right? I'm asking this just myself.
Yeah.
If there is somebody who wants to invest, let's say $200 a month, okay, or $500 a month, right? उनका saving है, उनको बैंक में नहीं रखना, they want to invest it. What is the best way for them to invest that $500 into stock market in India?
ओके. इस क्वेश्चन का आंसर ना मैं थोड़ा सा टेक्निकल एस्पेक्ट में भी दूंगा,
Okay.
जिसके अंदर मैं थोड़ा टैक्सेशन भी कवर करता हूँ कि आपको क्या करना चाहिए एग्जैक्टली, ताकि आपके व्यूअर्स को भी एग्जैक्ट चीज़ पता रहे, यार मैं ये करूँगा तो मेरा पैसा बचेगा वहाँ पर.
हाँ.
सो इफ यू आर coming in India to invest in stock market specifically, 2-3 ways are there which I told you. Either you own equity directly, either you go for a mutual fund.
Got it.
But when we talk about equities and mutual fund specifically वो वाले जो equities में ही अपना पैसा डाल रहे हैं. What is mutual fund exactly? वो भी आप so there is a fund manager who collects fund of many people and then they invest in companies across India.
Got it.
They directly buy equity shares.
Right.
Correct. That is mutual fund.
हाँ.
So when we are coming across those kind of products where majorly investment into equity, the taxation is different. Short term capital gain and long term capital gain, which the taxation happens in India is different, which is higher. So when I talk about short term capital gain, then short term capital gain on sale of mutual fund, that is taxable according to your tax slabs. So what is tax slabs? Your highest tax slab is 30%.
Yeah.
So that can be taxed at 30% also.
Is that only when I'm selling it and getting the profit?
Exactly.
That is so.
Exactly.
If I'm just investing it,
Yeah.
at that time I don't have to pay tax.
You don't have to pay tax.
So the only time I'm selling it,
Yeah.
and money hits my bank account,
Yeah.
that is when I
Taxation.
have to go to a CA
Yeah.
and say that this is what I've done. These are my activities of this year,
Exactly.
and that's what I have to pay tax on.
Yes. Yes.
Okay, got it.
And when we talk about let's say those kind of mutual funds where there is a combination of debt and equity.
Okay.
Right? So normally what happens is many people prefer FDs, you know, because it is a secure investment, एक fix हमको मिलता जाएगा, वो सब है. But FD में एक downside क्या हो जाता है when we compare it with the mutual fund, कि FD का जो return है ना, वो taxable होता है ना accrual basis.
Okay.
What does that mean? कि आपने जैसे FD आज कराया, तो नेक्स्ट ईयर आपको रिटर्न जनरेट हो जाएगा, उस नेक्स्ट ईयर पे टैक्स नेक्स्ट ईयर ही लग जाएगा. बट इन म्यूचुअल फंड टैक्स कब लगेगा? आफ्टर 5 years, जब भी मैं बेच रहा हूँ.
जब भी बेच रहे हो.
राइट. सो जब आपने टैक्स आज ही पे कर दिया तो आपका जो इन्वेस्टमेंट अमाउंट है वो कम हो जाएगा. सो दैट्स व्हाई इफ यू कंपेयर इवन 6% रिटर्न इन म्यूचुअल फंड, 6% इन FD, म्यूचुअल फंड रिटर्न विल बी ऑलवेज हायर. Because
Compounding interest
because you have to pay it at the end, but here you have to pay every year,
every year.
right? So apart from that, when I'm talking about taxation thing कि यार म्यूचुअल फंड में आपका जो स्लैब रेट के हिसाब से टैक्सेशन लगता है, so there are mutual funds where there is a combination of debt plus equity,
Okay.
right? So when there is a combination of debt plus equity, the taxation is different there,
Okay.
and the taxation is lower. So when you come to tax for a short term capital gain, then it comes at 20% only.
Okay.
But when it goes for a long term capital gain, then it's 12.5% as per latest budget announcement.
Got it.
तो वहाँ पे क्या है, आपका 10% टैक्सेशन में भी सेव हो जाता है.
So coming back to the question, right?
Yeah.
I am someone who wants to invest $500 a month in
Yes.
Indian stock market.
Yes.
What is the safest for me? Is it to get mutual funds or to invest in the companies, that are like have been there forever, like blue chip
Blue chip stocks.
Yeah. So what is better for me?
बहुत सब्जेक्टिव क्वेश्चन है.
Okay.
आपका पोर्टफोलियो क्या है, आप क्यों इंडिया में इन्वेस्ट कर रहे हो,
Right.
why do you want to diversify your investments, or you just want to invest your whole money in India, right? But eventually what I can say is invest in mutual funds. Those are safe, right? Market fluctuation आता रहता है. If you invest in blue chip funds also directly, if you invest in companies also, शेयर मार्केट डाउन हुआ, कंपनीज के स्टॉक्स भी डाउन होते हैं, यू फील द पेन कि यार ये पोर्टफोलियो नीचे जा रहा है.
Yeah.
सिमिलर हैपन विद म्यूचुअल फंड, बट इट इज डाइवर्सिफाइड पोर्टफोलियो.
Okay.
तो उससे क्या होता है कि इवेंचुअली इन लॉन्गर टर्म यू आर ऑलवेज गेनिंग इन म्यूचुअल फंड ओनली. सो ऑब्वियसली आंसर डिपेंड्स ऑन द पर्टिकुलर सिचुएशन by analyzing your investment, existing investment.
That's fair.
But with saying that, mutual fund is a good option.
Do you do one-on-one with people and
Yes.
explain this, including NRIs?
Absolutely.
Awesome. What we'll do is we will put a Google form link. We want to keep it like really simple. And I know so many of my friends and we have discussed this, which is like we don't really know who to go to or whatever.
Right.
So what we'll do is that we'll keep a Google form link in the description below, so that if you want to consult with him or just in general understand how you can invest your money in India, then fill up that form and then somebody will get in touch with you.
Absolutely.
Right? So those were stocks.
Yes.
Right? Stocks and mutual funds.
Yes.
Either we can invest through different apps, or we can set up like this much we want to invest every month, and that
Yes.
is what we can do. These transactions can happen no matter where you are in the world.
Yes.
Right?
One more thing I just want to add it here before closing this segment.
Yeah.
Many of my clients have faced issues with investment.
Okay.
What happens is, many of the NRIs, when they come to India, or maybe they connect with someone in India, they normally go to banks. Now, I am not denying that banks are not good for suggesting something. But I have seen personally many a times they were pitched wrong products.
Okay.
Either they were sold ULIP policies, insurance policies in the name of mutual funds.
Okay.
So as an NRI, you have always to be aware what is PIS, non-PIS, what I can do, what I cannot do.
Right.
And you do not need to, command anything from bank. You need to order them that I need to go with this thing. Right?
Okay.
Either you can go meet any financial planner or financial consultant, right, who can help you in choosing the right product. Right? So keeping in mind कि यार इंडिया की growth story is good. तो चलो पैसा डाल देते, तो आंखें बंद करके पैसा नहीं डालना है.
That is true. Actually, this is something that we have seen in migration or even study abroad field as well.
Yeah.
That खुद का research भी जरूरी होता है.
बहुत जरूरी.
It's like trusting somebody blindly, whether it's your life or the money that you make in your life.
Exactly.
तो खुद का research तो है ही, and that's one more disclaimer from this podcast. None of this is financial advice.
Yes.
This is more informative discussion that we want to do. I personally want to learn, and we want to reach this information towards you. So don't take any of these things as a financial advice. It's more like a guiding and explainer video rather than giving an advice. Right? Okay, so just on the topic of mutual funds, and this is something that I've heard. I don't know the validity of this or whether it's true or not, but I've heard that it's mutual funds or stocks. Not everybody can invest. So, for example, Germany citizen cannot directly come and invest. Or is that something related to NRI as well?
Yes, I'll just correct you here.
Okay.
Not every country allows it, but there are only 2 countries in which there are certain restrictions. और वो भी मैं आपको explain करता हूँ कि कैसे restriction है. So, US and Canada से जो भी NRIs है, वो म्यूचुअल फंड में इन्वेस्ट नहीं कर सकते, और जो कर सकते हैं वो भी एक लिमिटेड स्कीम्स में कर सकते हैं. सो आउट ऑफ 44 to 45 AMCs जो इंडिया के अंदर है, उनमें से सिर्फ 5 AMC के अंदर US एंड कनाडा के NRIs इन्वेस्ट कर सकते हैं. एंड रीज़न क्या है वो भी मैं आपको एक्सप्लेन करता हूँ. किसी को शायद पता नहीं होगा कि क्या रीज़न है, क्यों ऐसा.
वेरी वियर्ड.
हाँ, इट्स वेरी वियर्ड क्यों ऐसा करते हैं. बट रीज़न है कि US के जो टैक्स लॉज है ना, वो ही इस तरीके से बने हुए हैं कि US के टैक्स लॉज आपकी जो ओवरसीज इनकम है, लेट्स से इफ यू आर अर्निंग कैपिटल गेन्स इन इंडिया, राइट, तो US के टैक्स लॉज वो ओवरसीज इनकम को भी टैक्स करते हैं, एंड दैट ऑल्सो ऑन अनरियलाइज्ड गेन्स.
ओके.
तो बेसिकली अगर आपने शायद यहाँ पे 10 लाख रुपए म्यूचुअल फंड में डाले, आपने उस पर 1 लाख रुपए कमाए, तो US वाले उस 1 लाख पे भले ही आपने बेचा नहीं है, उस पर टैक्स लगा देंगे.
वाओ. ओके.
एंड दैट्स वाई US एंड कनाडा के जो NRIs हैं, दे अवॉइड investing in mutual fund, and many of the banks even do not accept mutual funds from those kind of NRI.
That is insane. I had never heard this one.
Yes.
So just on that note, so let's say Australia, right? मैं ऑस्ट्रेलिया में हूँ, मैंने इधर इन्वेस्ट किया म्यूचुअल फंड्स, लेट्स से 2 लाख रुपए के म्यूचुअल फंड्स लिए मैंने, और फिर जैसे 2.5 लाख हुआ मैंने बेच दिया.
Yes.
आई थिंक अमाउंट थोड़ा बढ़ाते हैं, अदरवाइज वो टैक्स ब्रैकेट में ही नहीं आएगा. बट लेट्स से 14 लाख का मुझे प्रॉफिट हुआ इस फिनेंशियल ईयर 24-25 में.
Yes.
सो डज दैट मीन मुझे इनकम टैक्स रिटर्न इंडिया में भी भरूंगा मेरे नाम का, और उधर तो मैं बिजनेस कर रहा हूँ, जॉब कर रहा हूँ, जो भी कर रहा हूँ, उधर भी मैं इनकम टैक्स रिटर्न भरूंगा? इज दैट व्हाट इज हैपनिंग?
नो, नथिंग लाइक दैट.
Okay.
तो उसके लिए क्या है कि इंडिया गवर्नमेंट ने काफ़ी सारी कंट्रीज के साथ DTAA किए हुए हैं. व्हाट इज DTAA? डबल टैक्सेशन अवॉइडेंस एग्रीमेंट्स.
ओके.
तो उसमें क्या है ना, हर चीज़ स्पेसिफिक होती है कि यार इनमें से ये चीज़ हम इंडिया में टैक्स कर लेंगे, आपको टैक्स नहीं करना है.
ओके.
राइट. सो व्हेन इट कम्स टू म्यूचुअल फंड, योर क्वेश्चन, राइट, तो म्यूचुअल फंड्स इंडिया में अगर एक बार कैपिटल गेन उन पे लग गया है, टैक्सेशन हो गया है, देन अगेन इट विल नॉट बी टैक्सड इन योर residence country.
Okay.
Right. So that is DTAA agreements. Now I'll also tell you a little planning which when many people do.
Yeah.
Right. I'm not advocating कि करना चाहिए.
Yeah.
But what happens is when you see DTAA of India with Singapore, right? So what happens is in that DTAA, a particular section 13(4) specifically states कि जो shares है या other immovable properties है, उनका gain will be taxable in India and it will not be taxable in Singapore.
Okay.
And secondly, when we see mutual funds, तो mutual funds are out of that definition.
Okay.
So what does that mean कि वो mutual funds की income इंडिया में टैक्स नहीं करेंगे, सिंगापुर में टैक्स करेंगे. But there is no concept of capital gain in Singapore.
Oh.
Getting my
That's
point?
interesting.
So those kind of plannings, those kind of strategies people do.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay. Awesome. So just on that example,
Yeah.
जब भी वो 2 लाख रुपए का मुझे प्रॉफिट हुआ, फॉर एग्जाम्पल प्रॉफिट ही बोलते हैं ना उसको,
Yes,
या जो भी
gain
gain
बोलते हैं
हुआ,
उसको,
हाँ,
expected.
gain हुआ, उस पे इट विल बी टैक्स इन इंडिया.
Yeah.
ओके. और जैसे व्हाटएवर 1,70,000 1,80,000 जो भी बाकी है, वो मैं डायरेक्टली ऑस्ट्रेलिया ले जा सकता हूँ मेरे NRE अकाउंट से.
Yeah. So what happens is capital gains are taxable in NRE as well as NRO account.
ओके.
The thing to note is जो FDs आप NRE अकाउंट से करते हैं ना, उस पर टैक्स नहीं लगता है.
ओके.
So that is a big point here कि अगर आप NRE अकाउंट में पैसा भी ले आते हैं,
हाँ.
वहां से आप FD भी करा देंगे,
हाँ.
वो स्पेसिफिकली एग्जाम्प्ट है, वहां पे टैक्स नहीं लगेगा. लेकिन वही पैसा आप NRO अकाउंट में ले आएंगे तो आपको टैक्स लगेगा.
ओके.
एंड व्हाट विल बी द टैक्स, वो भी मैं आपको एक्सप्लेन कर देता हूँ. सो व्हाट हैपेंस इज व्हेन यू टेक एन FD इन NRO अकाउंट, देन इट इज टैक्सेबल एज पर योर स्लैब रेट.
ओके.
मान लो आप 30% स्लैब में हो तो 30% के हिसाब से. बट व्हेन इट कम्स टू म्यूचुअल फंड्स, now there can be two types of gains. One is short term, one is long term. What is short term gains? If you hold a mutual fund for less than 12 months, it is a short term gain. And short term gains are taxable at 20%.
ओके.
Right? When you hold a mutual fund for more than 12 months,
ओके.
right, and then sell it,
Yeah.
and then उस पे जो भी gain हुआ, let's say if you are saying I am getting a 2 lakh rupees gain,
हाँ.
तो वहाँ पे टैक्स लगेगा 12.5%.
That's
That's
a big
also
difference,
difference.
right? It's
If
like
you are thinking,
7.5%.
yeah, if you are thinking कि यार मैं काम करता हूँ, let's say if you are standing in 11th month and if you are selling it, then you have to think यार एक महीना और रुक के सेल करता हूँ,
हाँ.
तो
That makes sense.
मेरा 20% से डायरेक्ट 12.5% का टैक्स लगेगा.
हाँ. Okay. Awesome. That was very informative.
Yeah.
And I think these are the important things that
Absolutely.
that everybody should know, whether you're in Indian living in India or Indian living abroad, NRI, everyone.
Exactly.
Awesome. Okay. So वो stocks and mutual fund इधर ही pause करता है because we can just go in the rabbit hole.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think if the audience want, you guys can write the questions, whatever you have, in the comments, and if needed, we'll do the part 2.
Sure.
No matter which part of the countries or the world we are in, we can always do it online. Moving on to, personally, I want to know a lot about this. Okay, I want to know about properties.
Okay.
Right? I'll tell you why. अगर ऑस्ट्रेलिया में हमें प्रॉपर्टी खरीदना है ना, जैसे 2 बेडरूम हो गया, ओके, अगर अहमदाबाद की हम बात करें, 2 बेडरूम लाइक 50-60 लाख में आ जाता है. थोड़ा बाहर जाए तो सिटी में 70-80 लाख में आ जाता है. 2
Easily.
बेडरूम आ जाता है,
Easily,
राइट?
easily.
सो 70 lakhs इज 140,000 ऑस्ट्रेलियन. ओके, वहां पे 2 बेडरूम खरीदना है 400-500,000 से, तो लाइक जो हमें लाइक जो 70 lakhs का इक्विवेलेंट है ना, वो 500,000-600,000 का तो मिलेगा ही. और ये मैं बात कर रहा हूँ जैसे नॉट मेलबर्न CBD, नॉट सिडनी, उधर तो 1-2 मिलियन तक चले जाएंगे. Getting what I'm saying? तो मतलब प्रॉपर्टी करना is और definitely उधर like the money that you make is also a little bit more.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right? So that's what it becomes a lot easier to gather $140,000
Yeah.
than to gather like $500,000-600,000.
Correct.
Right? So that's why I want to ask this. So first of all, NRIs can buy property in India. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. Now, how does that work? What is the easiest way to get into properties? So, like, what is the process when you are advising someone? What is the guidance? पहले city choose करना चाहिए, फिर flat या land खरीदना चाहिए. How does that work? Can you give a snapshot?
So I'll answer your question in my second part.
Yeah.
First thing is, can NRI buy a property in India?
Yeah.
Answer was yes, but subject to some conditions.
Okay.
So condition is that if you are an NRI, you can only buy a residential property or a commercial property.
Okay.
You cannot buy agricultural land. You cannot buy a plantation-based land.
Okay.
You cannot buy a farmhouse.
Okay.
Yes. So that's the condition. Now many of my clients, after all this organic things, कि हम सब organic खाएंगे पिएंगे and all that things. तो उसके बाद में काफ़ी सारे NRIs की क्वेरीज थी कि यार हमें ऑर्गेनिक में कुछ बिजनेस करना है, शुभम यार कुछ पता करो, एग्रीकल्चर लैंड हम खरीद लेते हैं, वहाँ पे हम खेती वेती करेंगे हाइड्रोफोनिक्स से एंड ऑल दिस थिंग. बट दे वर नॉट अवेयर कि यार एग्रीकल्चर लैंड आप खरीद ही नहीं सकते. आप एग्रीकल्चर लैंड कब खरीद सकते हो, या खरीद, आई कैन नॉट से खरीद, बट कब आप होल्ड कर सकते हो, व्हेन यू इनहेरिट द लैंड फ्रॉम योर फादर. तो अगर आपने इनहेरिटेंस में मिला है, देन यू कैन होल्ड इट, बट यू कैन नॉट बाय इट.
Interesting. That's very interesting.
So that's the first point कि आप NRI हो तो ये कर सकते हो. Second point कि if you want to invest in a land, let's say residential property or commercial property, so how you do that? What is the most important thing in land? Number one is the growth, कि उसका price कितना बढ़ रहा है, right? How it is increasing, in which city it is appreciating. Number two is rental yield. Like normally what happens in residential, rental yield is little bit lower, but when you talk about commercial property, like commercial shop, offices, rental yield is little bit higher.
Okay.
So you have to decide कि यार मुझे ये खरीदना किस पर्पस के लिए है. Either I want to earn a good rental out of it so that मेरा एक passive income चालू हो जाए, right? Or either I want to buy it just for the appreciation thing कि यार चलो नहीं आएगा रेंट चलेगा, but appreciation मिलेगा, वो we'll see, right? Or either you want to plan your retirement, you want to buy a bungalow, right? कि यार ठीक है यहाँ पे फॉरेन में मैं अभी हूँ, काम वाम करके रिटायरमेंट तो मेरे को इंडिया में ही लेना है, राइट? सो यू हैव टू डिसाइड योर पॉइंट कि आपके पोर्टफोलियो के हिसाब से क्या ऑब्जेक्टिव बनता है, एंड देन यू हैव टू बाय इट अकॉर्डिंग. सिंपल प्रोसेस है, राइट? यू कैन ऑब्वियसली रेमिट फंड्स फ्रॉम आउटसाइड इंडिया टू योर NRE NRO अकाउंट, देन यू कैन इन्वेस्ट इन इंडिया डायरेक्टली फ्रॉम देयर. उसमें कोई वो रॉकेट साइंस नहीं है. द थिंग इज दैट कि you can also get a home loan if you want to buy a property in India as an NRI.
Literally was going to be my next question. कि ऐसे directly तो मेरे पास नहीं है 50-70 लाख, लोन तो चाहिए, तो यहाँ की बैंक से लोन मिल सकती है.
Easily, yes. But RBI is restricted कि यार if as an NRI you are getting a loan, will not give you more than 80% of the property value as a loan.
Okay.
Depending on your income and all these things. But you can
max you can get is
80%, right?
तो जैसे 1 करोड़ की प्रॉपर्टी है, you can get a loan up to 80 lakhs.
But if you are resident, you can get up to 90-95% also, right? Depending on your returns and all such things.
Yeah.
But that is there.
Okay. So again, let's just keep this example only. 1 crore property. up to 80% I can get a loan, home loan,
yes.
right? Now, in that, just a vague idea. I know you're not a bank or you don't necessarily directly give people loans and stuff, but what do you advise? What are certain documents that people need in case if they need a loan?
So, like, if in case they are needing the loan, so what happens is the builders do a API document with banks.
Okay.
So basically, builders while building the property register it with RERA. RERA is Real Estate Regulation Authority, which is now in India, and it is helping
Yeah.
public to get their property on time.
Okay.
Right? Earlier, what used to happen was NRI. I have seen many examples of NRI. They're not getting the property on time from the builders only.
Acha.
Builders are taking their money and they're not giving the property on time. अब 4-5 साल बाद property receive हो रही है तो उसका कोई 4-5 साल तो हमारा पैसा वहाँ पे blocked
Blocked हो गया, हाँ.
So looking at that, government has introduced RERA.
Okay.
And now every builder is registered under RERA. They have to update every quarterly कि यार property का क्या status है, कहाँ तक बनी है,
Got it.
right? So it's very transparent right now.
Now, yeah.
So one thing is that either you have to check RERA, and then you can also trust, like in this vicinity, who are the trusted builders and all such things. The process is that builders do a documentation with banks. So they have impaneled many banks, right? You can just go to, let's say ICICI Bank is impaneled with a builder.
Yeah.
Right. ICICI Bank has all the documentation of builder, what property is going to build, किसका क्या permission है, क्या नहीं है, right? You just have to give your income sources.
Yeah.
Like let's say if you have ITR filings in India, you have to give your ITR, your source of earnings, and then according to that.
और अगर बाहर के है तो
process.
बाहर के
का भी
ITR
दे
देने
सकते.
पड़ेंगे.
Yes.
और in that we need NRE or NRO account and stuff.
Yes. So everything.
वो तो necessary है.
वो तो necessary.
मतलब अगर आप बाहर रह रहे हो तो आपका NRE NRO account होना ही चाहिए.
वो ही होगा. उसके अलावा saving current भूल ही जाने का.
अच्छा, okay.
There is no saving current for you. It's only NRE NRO for you.
Interesting. This is a new information for me. I should probably go and check. That's the first thing I should do.
Yeah. Many of people like forget. वो नहीं करते बैंक में जाके अपडेट.
हाँ, आइडिया ही नहीं होता ना.
तो इस वजह से वहाँ पे बहुत इश्यूज आते हैं. फेमा के भी बहुत दिक्कत आती है उसमें.
Okay, interesting. So step 1, check NRE NRO,
Yes.
and then talk to the bank. What are your returns that you have filed abroad? What are the returns if you have filed here? And see what your limit is, and then you can invest just like any resident would.
Yes.
Okay, so this is an advice just for me, or more like a guidance.
Yeah.
1 crore is the limit.
Yeah.
Okay, I want to invest in India. Should I look for an apartment in Mumbai, Bangalore, or something, or should I buy a land, non-agricultural land, commercial land, or an office space? Like, what do you think would be best?
As I am also a influencer and I also give guidance on what to buy, what not to buy.
Yeah.
My suggestion would be not to go for a residential flat
Okay.
until and unless you are going to stay in that flat.
Okay.
बिकॉज नॉर्मली क्या होता है इंडिया में एक वो ना लव फैक्टर है कि यार मेरे को अपना फ्लैट चाहिए, मेरे को अपना घर चाहिए, राइट? बट पीपल डू नॉट अंडरस्टैंड कि इफ यू आर thinking to buy a flat for getting a return, maybe capital appreciation, maybe rental yield, it's not good investment.
Okay.
But you can think about commercial offices.
Okay.
Because there is a higher rental yield, right? You can get a passive source of income from that. Also, when it comes to taxation, आप जो रेंटल कमाते हो उस पर 30% आपको डिस्काउंट मिलता है
Okay.
इन टैक्सेशन,
Okay.
राइट? तो टैक्सेशन के लिए भी वो एक अच्छी चीज़ हो गई कि आपको 100% पे टैक्स नहीं पे करना है,
हाँ, true.
राइट? तो माई सजेशन वुड बी इफ यू रियली वॉन्ट टू बाय अ प्रॉपर्टी इन इंडिया एंड इफेक्टिवली फॉर रेंटल पर्पज, देन गो फॉर अ कमर्शियल ऑफिस स्पेस और मे बी अ शॉप.
And one of the reasons being कि उनका like commercial space का rental yield in majority places can be better than residential
In
rental yield.
every place it is better than residential.
Acha, okay. Okay, that's very interesting. That's something to remember as well. And as you said, up to 80% I can apply for a loan.
Yeah.
So that is going to help me. Even if let's say, because for NRIs again, let's say 1 crore की property है, 20 lakh becomes what in Australian at least around $40,000, right? So to save that, it's not like ऐसे 2-3 साल में वो save कर सकते हैं जैसे normal people, right? वैसे but इंडिया में वही जैसे 20 लाख सिर्फ बचाने हो तो नॉर्मल सैलरी पे करना थोड़ा डिफिकल्ट हो जाता है. एंड दैट्स व्हाई एनआरआईज, और फिर उधर भी सेम है ना कि 40,000 बचा है,
हाँ।
पर आप उधर तो प्रॉपर्टी ले ही नहीं सकते
ले नहीं
उतने में,
सकते, yes,
है ना,
yes,
क्योंकि प्रॉपर्टी का प्राइस इज
Price is too high.
way too high.
Yeah.
So especially where you want to stay and all.
Yeah.
So that's
Also,
why.
one of the thing, just to add on to this, if you are thinking as an NRI to buy a property and taking a loan, you might think कि यार लोन लूंगा तो मुझे कोई लोकल सोर्स ऑफ इनकम होनी चाहिए जहाँ से मैं लोन की EMIs पे करूँ. Either I should be earning in India also, but ऐसा नहीं है.
Okay.
You can also remit funds through your NRE account
Okay.
to your NRO account and pay the EMI of loan.
Interesting.
Yeah.
तो ऐसा जरूरी नहीं है
ऐसा
that you
जरूरी
need
नहीं
to
कि
have.
आपकी इंडिया में इनकम होनी ही चाहिए उस लोन को रीपे करने के लिए. यू कैन ऑल्सो रेमिट फंड्स फ्रॉम आउटसाइड इंडिया टू रीपे द EMIs ऑफ द लोन.
Got it. And now I want to talk about some of your client stories, right? Because this sounds very glamorous, right? कि मैं डॉलर में कमा रहा हूँ, मैंने इधर प्रॉपर्टी ले रही, मैं डॉलर में कमा रहा हूँ, इधर मैंने म्यूचुअल फंड्स में ला दिए. And another thing, just on the property, I also want to know, one of the things that we were discussing was similar to mutual funds, there is also investing into properties, right?
Yeah.
Like what exactly is that concept? Like I didn't understand that.
Okay, so that there is a concept in India that
Yeah.
is REIT.
REIT.
Yeah, full
Okay.
form is Real Estate Investment Trusts.
Okay.
So basically what happened is अगर आप एक इंडिया में भी प्रॉपर्टी लेने जाओ तो you are saying like 1 crore में 3 BHK is normal right now, right? But many of people are not having that much fund or maybe want to invest in multiple cities, let's say Bangalore, Ahmedabad, but they have fund of 1 CR only.
हाँ.
तो वो सोचेंगे यार मैं एक ही जगह रिस्क क्यों लूँ. I need to diversify my investment portfolio also.
Yeah.
So REIT are similar to mutual funds, right? You can buy their units, right?
Okay.
For example, there is a Embassy REIT
Okay.
trust, right? REIT is just like mutual fund in which you can invest, right?
Okay.
So there are some minimum criteria that can be there
Yeah.
कि आपको minimum इतना investment करना है, but that is very low amount, right?
हाँ.
So you can just invest in that, and whatever rental yield that property is getting, for example, Embassy REIT has taken whole 100 CR property और उसको पूरे को रेंट पे चढ़ा दिया
अच्छा.
टू डिफरेंट कॉर्पोरेट्स में भी सिंगल कॉर्पोरेट, और
it.
वो जो रेंट उस ट्रस्ट को आ रहा है उस रेंट के हिसाब से दे विल डिस्ट्रीब्यूट द रिटर्न्स टू यू गाइस.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's kind of mutual fund for properties. So you can also now invest in properties without having to buy one for 1 CR.
Wow. Okay. So and then you said there are trusts.
Yeah,
right?
these are trusts.
So जैसे so then we have to see, जैसे म्यूचुअल फंड में था कि इनके पास टाटा का शेयर है, इनके पास XYZ का शेयर है, ये शेयर है, वो शेयर है, और उसका एक म्यूचुअल फंड बन गया और फिर हम उसमें पैसे डाल रहे हैं.
Correct.
सिमिलरली इनके पास प्रॉपर्टीज है.
प्रॉपर्टीज है इनके पास. आप
मुंबई
इनकी
में,
वेबसाइट पे
दिल्ली
जाके
में.
देख सकते हो हाँ कि ये कौन कौन सी प्रॉपर्टीज है इनके पास,
Okay.
और आप उनमें पैसा इन्वेस्ट कर सकते
And then they track like how much yield you are getting and stuff. Is that?
हो. Yes, सिमिलर टू म्यूचुअल फंड ओनली.
Wow.
उनका भी शेयर प्राइसेस बढ़ता रहता है, कम होता रहता है डिपेंडिंग ऑन द रेंटल यील्ड.
That's amazing. I think that's pretty smart. I like that.
Yeah.
Okay, awesome. Enough about properties, right? I want to get into some of the difficult stories as well.
Yeah.
Right? Because we talk, ये सुनने में बढ़िया लगता है ना कि NRI है, इधर इन्वेस्ट कर रहे हैं. वो होता है ना कि NRI होता है, उदयपुर में शादी कर रहे हैं, महल रेंट कर लिया है. ये ज्यादातर मैंने स्टोरी सिर्फ NRI की ही सुनी है. Right? So all these glamour stories are very much celebrated.
True.
Right?
Absolutely.
But the thing is that it can't be just all good and amazing,
Yes.
right? So what are some of the difficult stories that you have come across of NRIs?
There are many, I can tell you.
Okay.
If you see, Indian property ecosystem के अंदर, when you go to let's say a metro city, that is fine, you can get away with buying a residential flat or maybe commercial flat, right? But when you go to let's say tier 3, tier 4 cities, and if you are planning to invest in your
Hometown
or something like that, तो वहाँ पे बहुत सारी दिक्कतें कब्जे वाली भी आती है. कब्जा इज बेसिकली some influential people take away your property and all those things, right? तो एज एन NRI फिर वहाँ पे थोड़ा हसल हो जाता है, राइट?
Yeah.
So my simple suggestion, avoid those kind of property if you want to get into that, right? I have seen one of my clients' story. I can share it with you. So he bought a property in Bangalore. It was a residential flat, everything good. Builder को पैसा दिया, builder ने property time पे बना के दी. Obviously, what builder shows and what he delivers, there can be some difference. Fortunately, अहमदाबाद में नहीं है वैसा, जहाँ तक मैंने देखा है. But many of the cities it happens, right? कि वो दिखाएगा एकदम lucrative pictures, but आप जब real बन के देखोगे बोलोगे ये क्या है यार. तो what happened was property ले ली because many of the NRI friends were taking the property. तो उन्होंने कहा ले लेते हैं यार, rental आ जाएगा, कोई दिक्कत नहीं है. तो उन्होंने प्रॉपर्टी ली. उसके बाद वहाँ पे उनका एक फ्रेंड रहता था, तो उस फ्रेंड ने बोला मैं मैनेज कर लूँगा, कोई इशू नहीं है. तो इनिशियली इट वाज ऑल गोइंग गुड कि मैनेज किया उन्होंने. ही वाज गेटिंग डिसेंट रेंटल, कोई दिक्कत नहीं था. आफ्टर सम पॉइंट ऑफ टाइम उनके फ्रेंड की जॉब चेंज हो गई. ही मूव्ड आउट ऑफ दैट बिल्डिंग. तो अब देयर वाज नोबडी टू मैनेज, राइट. तो ही हैज कंसल्टेड विद some of the management firms also, right. And there was one tenant who came after all this hustle. He also paid rent till 8 years, right. Every year the owner NRI asked him कि यार फोटो भेजो ना मेरे को, प्रॉपर्टी कैसी दिखती है, क्या है. ये कल देंगे सर, आज मैं कल भेजता हूँ सर, आज बिजी हूँ थोड़ा, ऐसा करके 8 साल निकाल लिए उन्होंने, रेंट सब हो गया, ठीक है. आफ्टर 8 years he vacated the place, ठीक है. अब एज एन NRI आपको क्या लगेगा यार, 8 साल तक रेंट दिया है टाइम से, कभी लेट नहीं हुआ है, राइट. एडवांस मेरे पास ही है, क्या कुछ इशू होगा तो क्या होगा, कोई दिक्कत नहीं होगी. आफ्टर 8 years उसने डिसाइड किया यार थोड़ा मेरे को फंड की ज़रूरत है. तो ही कॉन्टेक्टेड सम ब्रोकर, उनको बोला आप जाके प्रॉपर्टी देख लो ना यार एक बार, मेरे को बेचनी है. तो व्हेन द ब्रोकर गेट इनटू इनसाइड, तो उसने क्या देखा कि एवरीथिंग इज़ ब्रोकन. देयर वाज विंडो, इट वाज ब्रोकन. आप किचन की शेल्फ देखोगे, इट वाज ब्रोकन. बट द गाय हु वाज स्टेइंग देयर नेवर टोल्ड हिम. राइट. तो अब उसका खर्चा ही उसमें इतना हो गया ना, तो प्रॉपर्टी की वैल्यू भी डाउन हो गई जो उसको मिल नहीं चाह रही थी, क्योंकि बिकॉज प्रॉपर्टी वाज नॉट मेंटेन प्रॉपर्ली, राइट. सो एज एन NRI समटाइम्स इट बिकम्स डिफिकल्ट, राइट, टू डील विथ टेनेंट्स एंड ऑल सच सॉर्ट ऑफ थिंग्स. तो माई ऑलवेज सजेशन इज, इफ यू आर कमिंग टू इंडिया, maybe you are investing in India, and if you are, whenever you are planning to coming to India, then whatever properties you are investing, because it is a tangible asset, it's nothing intangible. Mutual funds are intangible, and all depends on mutual fund manager. Property is tangible thing. You have to go and visit your place कि यार क्या है, सब ठीक तो चल रहा है, right. So those kind of stories I come across very often.
So people who think that हम बाहर बैठेंगे, एक दो फोटोज देख लिया ऑनलाइन कि नहीं बढ़िया है, किसी को बोल दिया कि ले लो, खरीद लो, मैनेज कर लो, वैसा नहीं
होता है.
हाँ, like
reality is much different.
Yeah, in that case it's a lot easier to get scammed.
Absolutely.
So it's important that people who want to invest, they visit the property.
Yes.
They see what they are getting into, area कौन सा है ये वो.
Yes.
Just in this, if I want to research what suburbs are good, you know, कि जैसे अहमदाबाद की बात करें, you know, प्रहलाद नगर में लूँ, या फिर वाड़द साइड लूँ, या साउथ भोपाल लूँ. So how would you recommend our viewers that they do their research?
Okay. यार प्रॉपर्टी मार्केट जो है ना, इट इज़ मेजरली डोमिनेटेड बाय ब्रोकर्स.
Okay.
राइट. ऑब्वियसली देयर मे बी सम न्यूज़ विच यू कैन रिलाई ऑन, जो आपके न्यूज़पेपर्स में आ रही है, राइट. अहमदाबाद के हिसाब से अभी जो न्यूज़ चल रही है वो ये है कि अहमदाबाद में ओलंपिक को होस्ट किया जा सकता है, एंड बिकॉज ऑफ दैट many people are selling the property कि यहाँ पे ओलंपिक का ग्राउंड आएगा, यहाँ पे वो आएगा, यहाँ पे वो आएगा, राइट. Nobody is aware.
100% sure.
Right.
Yeah.
Even if you go with brokers, they will say सर यहाँ पे 100% आप 5 साल बाद देखो ये एरिया बदल जाएगा, राइट. तो आपको खुद का रिसर्च तो करना है. अब खुद का रिसर्च कैसे होता है कि either you go to some this listing platforms, right? Magic Bricks हो गया, 99 acres हो गया, right. वहाँ पे जाके there is a classic technique which many of people use to sell their property. अगर उनको बेचनी है ना, तो वो खरीदने जाते हैं. तो उनको प्राइस पता चलता है कि यार ये खरीदने का प्राइस ये है, तो मैं इतने में तो निकल सकती है. बिकॉज इफ यू गो टू ब्रोकर एंड आप उसको बोलोगे मेरे को बेचनी, तो हमेशा वो ये बोलेगा यार इतने में नहीं होगा सर, कम में ही होगा, 85 में बिकेगी, 90 में नहीं बिकेगी. बट व्हेन यू गो टू बाय द सेम प्रॉपर्टी, वो बोलेगा सर 95 में मिलेगी. सो रिसर्च कुछ टेक्निक्स की मदद से भी हो सकती है, ठीक है. रिसर्च आप न्यूज़पेपर न्यूज़ रीडिंग से भी कर सकते हैं कि यार मार्केट में क्या चल रहा है, व्हाट इज द न्यू एरिया, व्हाट आर द अपकमिंग एरियाज, लाइक मॉल कहाँ आ रहा है, मेट्रोज कहाँ आ रही है, right. According to that you have to research, because you are NRI, you cannot visit frequently, right. Secondly, you have some relatives here in India, then you can contact them and you can ask them what are the right options to invest in.
Interesting. I love that. Okay, practical question. I bought a property in 2020 as an NRI in India for 1 crore. I am selling it in 2025 as an NRI for 2 crore.
Yeah.
So 1 crore का मेरा profit या gain हुआ है. Now that I want back in Australia, that money.
Yeah.
How does taxation work on this?
Okay, very good question. So what happens is, I already told you about the taxation in mutual fund कि कैसे उसमें tax लगता है. Similar to that, it is in property also, right?
Okay.
But there is little bit difference. Number one is that in mutual fund we consider a year if you hold a mutual fund for a year and then after you sell it, then it is a long term. If you
Okay.
sell it within a year, then it is a short term gain, right?
Right.
Similar to that, in property, we consider it as a 2-year period. So
Okay.
if you are holding that property for less than 2 years, then it is short term capital gain.
Okay.
But if you are selling it after 2 years, then it is a long term capital gain.
Okay.
Now, obviously, long term capital gain is taxed at 12.5% straight. Earlier, it was 20% with indexation, but now government has removed indexation benefits and it's 12.5% straightforward.
Okay.
But when it comes to short term capital gain, it is taxed as per your slab rates. So if you are having, let's say, a capital gain of 1 CR, then you might pay a tax of around 34 to 35%.
Okay.
And that is too much higher.
Yeah. But in this case, the example,
Yeah.
5 साल का I have held the property.
Yeah.
So in that case,
It
1
is long
CR
term.
पे 12.5% I'll
Yes.
pay 12.5 lakh
Yes.
in this example. And other 88.5 lakh I can take to Australia, convert into AUD.
Yes. And now you will be wondering कि यार 12.5 लाख मुझे पे करना है, but how will I pay it? So the answer to the question is that this is a tax deducted at source. And what does that mean? कि अगर आप कोई प्रॉपर्टी बेच रहे हैं ना इंडिया में, एंड इफ यू आर गेनिंग एनी कैपिटल गेन फ्रॉम दैट, देन आपका जो बायर है, द पर्सन हु इज परचेजिंग द प्रॉपर्टी, हैज टू पे अ TDS अपफ्रंटली
Okay.
टू द गवर्नमेंट.
Okay.
व्हाट डज दैट मीन? कि मुझे पहले ही दिन मुझे टैक्स पहले गवर्नमेंट को पे करना है, देन आपको पे करना है बायर
Oh,
को.
wow.
एंड वाई इज ऐसा? आप सोच रहे होंगे यार ऐसा क्यों गवर्नमेंट ऐसा हमारे साथ क्यों कर रही है कि पहले ही टैक्स पे करवा रही है? हम रिटर्न फाइलिंग के टाइम पे कर सकते हैं ना. तो स्ट्रेट फॉरवर्ड आंसर टू दैट इज कि गवर्नमेंट डू नॉट ट्रस्ट कि NRI एक बार पैसा लेके गया इंडिया से बाहर तो वो हमें टैक्स पे करने वाला है, राइट?
They're like, अगर देश छोड़ा है तो अभी
पैसा भी गया. कहाँ ढूंढने जाएंगे हम?
सही
तो
बात है.
इसलिए गवर्नमेंट क्या करती है कि TDS प्रोविजंस उन्होंने किक इन किए. सो फॉर एग्जांपल, इफ आई एम अ रेजिडेंट and if I am also selling a immovable property which values higher than 50 lakh rupees, then as a resident also have to pay 1% TDS. If I am the buyer and if you are selling the property, I have to pay 1% as a TDS to the government. But in case of NRI, it is not 1%. It varies from 12 to 15%
Yeah,
depending
that's a
on
lot.
the
Yeah.
income, how much gain is there.
That's very interesting.
Yeah.
And I feel that we have covered a lot of things. भले ऊपर से ही,
Yes.
but I think we have covered a lot of things. I don't know about you guys, but I honestly think this is a little bit of overload of information. So even I have questions like about TDS, like super basic questions, but I think we're going to keep it for part 2. If you guys have any questions, write that in the comment section so that we can know what all things that we should cover when we do part 2 of NRIs investing in India. If you want to get in touch with CA Shubham Malu, then you have the form right in the description. You can fill up that form, and we have also created a specific PDF for free that is going to give you all this information in that PDF. So when you fill up that form, you will get the PDF as well. If you want to reach out to Shubham, why don't you tell in that camera how people can reach out to you?
So if you want to reach out to me regarding any consultation, if you have any query related to investments, maybe taxation or anything, you can just reach out to me at my Instagram account, or you can find my details in the caption below, in which you can find my email ID also. You can drop a mail to me. My team will reach out to you as soon as possible.
Love that, dude. Thanks for taking the time. I know this was a lot and you have done fabulous research.
Thank you.
Thank you for simplifying it. Honestly, just dumbing it down for me and also explaining it.
And
to
even
the
I
audience.
enjoyed it a lot. Thank you for inviting me, Devarsh.
Thanks, man.
Yeah.